Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share 5 easy ways that you can be more sustainable in your everyday life in your kitchen. The first thing I'm going to start with is a really simple fix. Instead of spending a lot of money buying paper towels every month, consider investing in 3 different kinds of towels for your home. What I do is I have one towel that I use for my bathrooms that are hand towels for people to dry their hands. So I have this tan color, and then I also have like a teal blue, which matches my bathroom. So it's easy for everyone to remember which towel goes to what. The second towel I have is a white towel, and these are specifically for cleaning. That way I can bleach them when I wash them. And that way I can clean bathroom surfaces, kitchen surfaces, anything really that I want to clean. And then the third towel I have is a kitchen towel. And this way you can, pick whatever towels match your home decor. I kind of have like a mix mash of towels because I just don't get rid of them unless I absolutely need to. But I just have a variety of kitchen towels that I keep in my kitchen cabinets. And we use those for everything from drying our hands, when we sit down and eat. I even have decorative napkins that sometimes I'll pull out, and we'll use those when we eat because I can wash those. But just by switching from paper towels or napkins to towels, you're going to save hundreds of dollars a year easily. Not to mention, every time we use a paper towel, we use it once and then we throw it away. So you're just continually throwing paper away when you really can avoid it. The second switch that I made when it came to being more sustainable in my kitchen was I invested in a few of these wooden bristle brushes. They have all different kinds, from like the hand scrubbers to the ones like this that have a long pole. They have little ones that you can put in a dish that have like a longer brush on it. These are awesome because, for one, wood is just way better for our planet than plastic. But also these last a long time. Instead of buying the sponges that you can only use for a couple weeks at a time, maybe more depending on if you clean them or not, these will last you months, if not a year, even 2, depending on how often or what you use them for. You can invest in a few different styles, and that way you have different ones for different things, and that way they last longer as well. But I feel like they're also just a lot prettier than having those like colored sponges. I feel like it really goes with my neutral aesthetic, and they just look really nice. This one is from Williams-Sonoma. But I have found a lot of really nice ones on Amazon as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link a bunch of my favorites in the description. And then I'll also have a link to my Amazon storefront where I have a bunch listed in my kitchen section. The third switch that I made when it came to my kitchen, I stopped buying Ziploc bags and basically just started being really resourceful with what I have. This right here, I'll start with this, is a bread bag. So it's really hard to buy things that don't come in plastic. If you buy any kind of sliced bread at the store, it's gonna come in a plastic bag, like this one from Safeway. What I've started to do is just empty it out when it's done, and I roll it up, and then I just keep these rolled up, and I have a box that I covered in like a pretty neutral parchment paper. And then I just keep these in the box, and when I need a bag to put something in, I will put them in this. Obviously, using Tupperware or glass storage containers are another bet, but sometimes you have something, that doesn't fit in a Tupperware, or just something that you want to store for a quick minute and maybe don't want to have to wash the Tupperware and waste the water. You can use these for like sandwiches, or just putting a bowl or something in it easily that you can just cover it up and then use a zip tie. I always save zip ties that I get on things like loaves of bread, and then just put a zip tie around it, and bam, you have your own Ziploc bag that you can just store things in, and then take it, roll it back up, put it in the drawer, and reuse it. The other thing that I use all the time are mason jars. Now, this is an actual mason jar with the lid because my grandpa did a lot of canning and made a lot of like jams. So we have a lot of jars that I've saved over the years. For one, I love the look of it. I love that you can see what's in it, and I love that your cupboard will look the same, having all glass jars in it. But storing your food in glass versus plastic anytime we can is so much better for us. And instead of going out and buying a bunch of mason jars, what you can do is just start rinsing out your glass jars of things that you already buy, like pickles or pepperoncinis, olives, anything like that that comes in a glass jar. Just clean it out after you're done, peel off the label. You can even use these brushes just to scrub the label off. And then you'll have a bunch of glass jars that you can use to store your nuts, your chips, your snacks, candy, anything really, like any kind of liquid leftover, mashed potatoes or soup or anything really, anything at all you could use for a glass, you could use a glass container for, and avoid using a Ziploc bag. I feel like Ziploc bags are just so wasteful. Even if you do try and reuse them, I don't know how good it is to be reusing plastic bags over and over again, but in reality, most people don't reuse them. They use them once, maybe twice, and then they throw them away. And we know how long it takes plastic to break down. It's just really horrible. So I feel like if you just take out buying plastic bags altogether and start saving the bags that you already get products in and using containers, you will be so much better off, and it'll save you so much money because Ziploc bags are expensive. The other alternate I found there are a few companies that I really like. The one on the top of my head is called Stasher Bag. They're now selling them at Target. I will leave a link for them in the description as well, and I'll also put those in my Amazon storefront, or actually I think I already have them in my storefront. So I'll have them linked in my Amazon storefront so you can see what I'm talking about. But they are great. They're dishwasher safe. You can just rinse them out with your regular dishes, and you could use them just like any other Ziploc bag. The last thing that is, actually, I think this is the fourth thing. I'm just losing track. The fourth thing I invested in was a compost pail. And this is just a countertop compost pail to put all your food scraps in as you cook throughout the week. And then you can take this and empty this into your actual compost outside. Or if you don't want to make a compost, like if you're not into gardening or you don't have a garden, you have no reason to make a compost, that totally makes sense. All you have to do is just empty this pail into your green yard waste bin, or even empty it into a paper bag, which can be broken down. I wouldn't go out of your way to get paper bags, but for some reason, if you have paper bags, or you can get paper bags from family or friends that do use paper bags for some reason, you can always get some from them and use those. But honestly, the most sustainable way to dispose of your food if you're not composting is just to literally dump your compost into your yard waste bin. And I'm sure even if you live in an apartment complex or a condominium, they should have a communal yard waste bin as well. And you could just literally empty all your food scraps in there. I would look into what you can't compost. You don't want to be putting like meat scraps or like whole eggs. Egg shells are okay, but like avoid meat, avoid fish, avoid dairy, but like any kind of veggie scraps, anything like that, or like any kind of veggie really, eggshells, stuff like that are all good to compost. You will just do so much good for the planet by not putting your food in the trash. Because I just learned recently, which is like what motivated me to get this, every time we put food into the trash and it is stuck in a bag with other garbage, it actually creates carbon emissions or carbon gas emissions, because it takes a long time to break down. I don't know if I even said that right, because I literally just learned about it. But in like simple terms, basically, you would think the food would just break down in compost, being in the garbage, but that doesn't happen. Because it's in a garbage bag with other trash, it actually takes a long time to break down, and then it actually creates gas in the process, which is part of the problem we're having in our landfills with people throwing away garbage, trash, everything mixed together. It's creating a lot of bad air pollutant for our air quality and for our earth. So just by simply investing in a compost bin, or even just using a bowl or a jar or something to put your scraps in and emptying it out in your yard waste bin, will save and do so much good for the earth. Okay. And the last but not least thing that I want to share with you, which I'm always surprised at how many people still use water bottles. And I get some people live in areas where they don't really have access to the best water, so I understand that. But if you live in city limits where water is okay to drink, which is, I feel like, most of the United States, unless I'm clueless with that. But I'm pretty sure that that's pretty accurate to say that most people have access to clean running water if they live within city limits. So with that said, yes, I grabbed it to show you because I felt like, why talk about it? Just show you. Get yourself a Brita filter. It is, I want to say, anywhere from like $15, $20 on the lower end, or up to like a couple $100 for a really high-end filter, depending on how big of a filter you want and if you want it to be like an alkaline filter or not. But this is just like your simple Brita filter that fits in your fridge. I forget, a good amount of water. Like this one's pretty big. Like it'll last me a few days, and I drink a lot of water before it's completely empty. Plus I use it to fill my son's bottles. But just getting yourself a Brita filter and using this and getting yourself like your favorite water bottle to drink out of, I actually can grab one to show you. So I use this water bottle to drink out of every day. I got this off of Amazon for $10. I love it because it has like motivational sayings on the side, which mine is rubbed off because I use it every day and constantly washing it. But it has a mark with the time, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, to basically show you a mark of how much water you should be drinking throughout the day. I just fill this up at the beginning of the day with ice and go through it and then try to finish 2 of them. But whatever kind of water bottle you like, whether you want to like get yourself like one of those really nice Yeti ones, or even like a knockoff Yeti brand that aren't so expensive, that keep your water cold for like up to 24 or 48 hours. Those are great. I feel like what's nice is like, it'll just really motivate you. Speaking of that, I needed water. Motivate you to drink more water. And I can't tell you like how bad it is to buy bottled water. Like I know that in certain situations, it's hard to avoid if you forget your bottle and you're out and about somewhere. But really, like if you're buying them at home still, even if you think like, oh, well, I'm recycling them, like, you know, isn't that okay? Not really. To be honest, like recycling is good and it's extremely important, but the more we can just avoid contributing to plastic and contributing to things having to be recycled and energy being used to do so, the better. I feel like so many bottles, for one, don't even end up at the recycling. They end up in our oceans, they end up in our streams. It's just really, really bad. Just getting yourself a water filter and using that instead of using a bottled water does so much good. Anywho, that concludes the video for today. Those are just 5 easy ways, like I said, to be sustainable. If you enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And that way you can see other sustainability tips, motherhood tips, inspiration. I kind of have a little bit of all 3 of those that I'm trying to get out on my channel. But as always, your support means so much, and I appreciate you watching. Any suggestions or anything that you already do, let me know in the comments. Anything that you're excited to start doing, let me know in the comments as well. And like I said, I'll be leaving everything that I talked about linked in my Amazon storefront and linked in the comments below. So have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon.